What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Delta Ridge Fab build channel. Today is going to be part 3 of our estate gate build series. Today we're going to be rolling the tubing for the double arches, the 2 arches that go on the very top of the gate. Walk you through the process, give you some tips and tricks that I've learned after doing a few of these, and yeah, we'll see where it goes. I do not appreciate this late October cold snap. It is windy and it is like 40 degrees. This machine is the Swag Off-Road tubing roller. It's a fantastic machine. It's you know, you can get the electric drive conversion for it. I have ran 2x2 1/8" wall through this at a pretty steep angle, and I've only wanted the electric drive once. Swag offers something like 200 different die combinations for this thing. It's got this digital readout which tells you how far you're pushing. It monitors the travel of this middle thing. So yeah, it's a good machine. I like it. The digital readout gives you the chance to replicate bends, which is really handy. And yeah, it's a good. Most important things to note on tubing rollers is you must keep your dies super clean. Your dies and your material have to be really clean. You definitely don't want to have any sort of loose debris on there at all, because that will the amount of pressure that this thing puts on the dies, if you have any sort of debris on there, it will just destroy your dies in a hurry. So keep them clean. And then I'm just using, for a rolling lube, I'm using Swag's tube lube that they offer. It works pretty good. So I'm going to get these cleaned up. I'm going to get a piece of material out here, and we're going to get to work. Got the rollers all good and cleaned up. Oh yeah, they're looking good. We're going to put some lube on them, and then we'll bring some material out here. For the lube, you don't have to get too carried away. I just use a shop towel, fold up a couple times, you know. Just put a little dab in there like that, and then just roll this thing around. Kind of smear it on there, get some up on the side wall of the die. Just smearing it around. Doesn't have to be caked on there super thick or anything. Just enough to give it a little bit of something on the surface. And then the same thing to all 3 dies. Plenty. If you noticed in part 1, when I was cutting the 1x2, I went through and I made marks every foot. Well, that's for the rolling process. This is so I can track how far of the tube I'm rolling at a time. So, you know, the gate is you got an 8-foot section here, you got a 6-foot section here. It's 11'9" across. So I'm gonna want probably like 6 foot of it to arch down and then the other 5 of it to arch back. So that's what the little tick marks are for. It's to track how far down the tubing we're rolling. And then we'll use this to tell us how far we're actually pushing it. So right now what I've done is I've got this piece of tube pulled down almost to the end of the line. It'll go just a little bit further. You're gonna put just a little bit of pressure on, a little bit of down pressure until you can feel that it's touching on all 3 rollers. And then you want to zero this thing again. This is going to tell you how far your drive roller is pushing down, which is essentially how much it's bending the tube between the 3 rollers. So we're going to start rolling this. I'm going to do a 6 foot. I want a 6 foot top arch, I guess. The top of the arch before it curves and comes back. I want 6 feet of the tube to be arched. So put a little pressure on it. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Right, and then we'll double check our count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's too many. So that one to this one. Push it some more. So now essentially what this readout's telling me is that we have pushed exactly an 1/8 inch. We're putting an 1/8 inch worth of push between these 2 rollers. So give her some more. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Start to see it getting a little bit of an arch to it now already. How do I know how much is too much or how much is too little? No. I'm eyeballing it. I know that it needs to look like it's got more arch to it than that. So I'm going to roll it up to a 1/2 inch of push. Take a look at it. It's looking okay. Now I'm going to take this out of here and I'm going to go set it up there on the gate frame and see, kind of start getting a feel for it. This is where we ended up. It's really hard to tell from this perspective, obviously, what it's going to look like once it's standing up. But you've got just shy of a 90-degree angle here because there's going to be a 1/2-inch gap between the gates right here. So the idea with the arches is that it looks like it's one continuous arch all the way across from post to post. So you have to account for that arch. You're going to have a little 1/2-inch knocked out of the middle of it. So visually it needs to keep going through that 1/2-inch, if that's making any sense. So this gap, or this union right here, needs to be just a little less than 90 degrees. So like 89 and some change. And here's kind of how I take my notes. So 7.5 ticks from the end, TFE, it's a new unit of measure, at a 0.59 push. And then you flip it and you do the rest of the tube at a 0.48 push. And that will get you, with those notes and this machine, that will allow me to get the next one really, really close. I may have to tweak it a little bit to make it match perfectly. But I like this. I'm gonna mark up this tube, get it situated where I want it to be, and then I'm gonna bend out the other top rail and the two to match that go underneath for the double. Flatten the one back out just a pinch, but when you stack them up, this 2x1 1/8-inch material is pretty flexible. So it's going to be almost impossible to get these 100% perfect, which I can get them really close. I mean, that's within an 1/8 across the whole situation. Well, the view really isn't too bad from up here. Anyway, I'm on my box in my truck, so you can get a good view of those arches. So there is, end to end, that's about level with where the gate's going to be. About a 2-foot difference between from this elevation to this elevation down here. They match. Everything's going to flow nicely. Well, that'll do it for today's video. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for watching. Hope you learned a thing or two about tubing rolling. Yeah, so part 4, we will be fitting the arches into the gates and then doing a little bracing, and then we're going to finish weld out the frame of the gate so that it is a solid structure. Then we can start moving it around and starting doing some of the decorative stuff on it. Anyway, yeah, we'll see you next time.